Welcome to Senior's Last Word. It's Friday, and today we are talking the final of AFCON 2021. As we go into the weekend, we know that it's Egypt versus Senegal, a 7-time winner versus a team that has never won the AFCON. Who will eventually reign and come out on top? We have to start with the semi-final itself, because Cameroon versus Egypt was a match that no one imagined that it's the day out of 3 weeks that Cameroon will eventually freeze, as though they were never in to win this thing. Yesterday, as we saw, Egypt showed why they are the record winners in Africa, not just AFCON, but also in club football. All club championships, national championships. As long as it's football at both club and national level, Egypt has dominated throughout history. And you saw the reason why yesterday. For me, of course, I'm elated because I did predict that Egypt will not just go all the way to the final as they now have. They will actually win the tournament. And I'm even happier that my predictions have been flawless. Since the quarterfinals, I think I only missed out one in the quarterfinals. But since then and now, I think we are good. So if you're a bettor, if you're a punter, Senior's Last Word is the place to be. You're guaranteed to make some money from your bets. How did Cameroon lose yesterday's semi-final? How did Egypt win that semi-final? Did it point us in any way to how the final against Senegal will go? Did the deserved team win last night? I can tell you, yes, Egypt were deserved winners. In the first half, Cameroon perhaps on top for large spells. Second half, throughout until the end of the extra time, it was Egypt. And by the time the last whistle blew, we were all convinced that there was only one winner, and it was always going to be Egypt. Now, Cameroon going to this game as hosts, everything playing in their favor. The crowds, the rules, the administration, the leadership, the organization, everything, the match officiation, everything was favoring, was inclined, and it has moved in such a way that it made us convinced that Cameroon had to get to the final by all standards, by all means, including, for instance, yesterday's game, when by the time we went to extra time, Egypt had no coach on the bench. Each of them red carded or sent off or suspended in one or the other, or fined, or whatever it is, justifiably so, but it did happen anyway. So you can say even that favored Cameroon. And guess what? Remember, they are the only team who were never at fault with COVID. Every player, had to play somehow. And then, of course, the decisions, the refereeing, the off-field incidents, everything really favoring these guys. But this is football. At the end of the day, you've got to play that ball. You've got to do it on the field of play. So no wonder Egypt, the route to the final, difficult path, as opposed to the path that Cameroon actually used. Remember, group stage, Cameroon, such a weak group. We went to the knockout stages. They begin with what? Cape Verde. We continue. So Comoros, we continue. And they just kept on playing weak team after weak team. They played who? Gambia in the quarter-finals. Just what does it show you? Cameroon did not have any opposition in their path, which was good enough to prepare them for a game against the record champions. And that's the problem. You play weak teams, you score many goals, you celebrate, you think it's done, but you've not been tested. You haven't been tested, not mentally, not technically, not tactically. So what happens when you have 90 minutes, and that's when you've got to show your mantle, and you're playing Egypt. Cross the other side, who did Egypt play? Nigeria in the group stage. Morocco at some point. Cote d'Ivoire. Nigeria were among the favorites. We all know they're traditional champions. Cote d'Ivoire. What a group they had, and the performance in the group, especially the 4-0 the 3-1 whitewashing of Algeria. And then Morocco. Morocco and Cote d'Ivoire in the group stages, I think, played the best attacking football. And as a unit, as a group, you could sense that they had the right psychology. Individually, they have very good players, and they had very good players. Going into the knockout stages, you thought maybe they could go far. This is what Egypt faced. Cote d'Ivoire, Morocco. That was opposition. And then, of course, Nigeria. By the time they come to play Cameroon, where are they in this? Very good. Very confident. They've seen it. They've prepared mentally. They've played Arab opposition. They've played West African opposition. When you add Cote d'Ivoire and Nigeria, West Africans play the same football. Bring in Cameroon, they have the same approach football. They have the same philosophy. They rely on individual talent, individual flair, skill. They rely on their physicality, aggression, and of course their robust nature. So when you're playing against these good West African teams, you've got to be prepared to compete with them physically, robust. You've got to be technically very good. And then, of course, they have that vibrance. You see their fans in the stadium. So it's all flair and all attack, and fancy. That's why we sing of the Salahs and whoever, the Manis. It's all about that. The Arabs have a different approach. When they're playing West African opposition, and here I'm talking about Egypt and, for instance, Tunisia, they just play the opponent they get according to the opposition. So they'll change their tactics during the game. They'll prepare differently before. They'll adjust systems within the game. They'll choose when to play flowing football, disorganizing football, tactics. They'll do anything. All they normally look out for is the result. So Egypt, Cameroon, what chance did Cameroon have? For me, I told you before, nothing, no chance. Cameroon, not only didn't they get good preparation, they believed their own hype. Remember, they had beaten Egypt in 2017 final. They had 4 players from that team who have been featuring in this tournament. They are bringing that experience, and of course they are riding the high wave of being at home. Yet, the games I've seen, the games I've analyzed, I saw a big weakness. Defensively, they were never solid. Their shaping midfield, never sound. The way they play their football, very predictable. They've always required the flanks or the width. They've been relying on width, and I've kept on telling you this, they've been relying on 2 outstanding finishers. And it is those clinical finishers, in between them 11 goals, who are responsible for Cameroon getting this far. Take those finishers out, bring on Cameroon. Tell me where they were solid enough to counter an opponent like Egypt. Absolutely nothing. Come the semi-final itself, Egypt did it very simply. They went basic. They did it without ever breaking sweat. How? Cut out their width. Don't compete for the robust game. They are big, huge, giant, physically indomitable, as their name suggests. So what you do? Just use the ball. Keep the ball, use it efficiently. Make sure it doesn't play on their side. So, pass, wall passing, patient build-ups. Don't necessarily do counter-attacking football. No, pick your moments. All you do, dictate the tempo of the game by having that ball and hiding it from them. That's all they did. And then, just make sure the 2 front guys are taken care of. So imagine they cut out the supplies from the wings, so our 2 big front men couldn't get that ball. And then they never gave them a sniff at goal. How was Cameroon ever going to score? And of course, the longer the game goes, the more confident the Egyptians become. That's the idea. They knew, because they are patient as a team traditionally. They are patient. They are patient with their tactics, the Egyptians. But Cameroon, the longer the game goes, they lose their patience. They become panicky. Mentally, they get disorganized. The Egyptians know once it goes to 120 minutes, that's what we are made of. And when it goes to penalties, they are the experts. These guys are accomplished when it comes to penalties. What happened? 3 misses for Cameroon. But look at the efficiency that the Egyptians took the penalties. Add the penalties they took in the previous game. That's the difference. One team, pedigree. Both teams have pedigree. But remember, the bigger team with bigger pedigree, with bigger history, Egypt. This is a game that was tailor-made for Egypt. And that's why I personally was convinced Cameroon had no chance. The crowd, the home crowd, the form going into that game, on paper it looked like it favored Cameroon, but no, it was putting them under pressure. Egypt, comfortable. So yes, in the end, worthy winners, Egypt, and now Mohamed Salah, who was a losing finalist in 2017. Probably one of the top 3 players in world football today, who has won everything at club level, yet to win AFCON, to enter into Egypt's illustrious football history books, now has a chance not just to be talked about as one of the greatest, but I tell you, should Egypt win it, and I know they will, Mohamed Salah will be officially the king of Egyptian football, the greatest Egyptian footballer ever. All he's needing now is to win that national title and trophy, and then he will have the world at his feet. And who knows, maybe going forward, it will help him to contest for those international accolades that are still eluding him. Mohamed Salah facing his buddy, his friend, his pal, Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane, very, very despondent in 2019 when they lost to Algeria in the final. Will he do it this time? He has already played 3 AFCON tournaments. This is actually the 3rd. Where do you think this leaves him? He knows if they fail this time, maybe they won't come back to play another final. The greater Senegalese team before did not win this thing. Mane, already African Footballer of the Year. Salah, 2-time Footballer of the Year. If Salah wins it, he wins probably the 3rd time African Footballer of the Year. Mane wins it, who knows? It also increases his chances to win his 2nd African Footballer of the Year. Both players already winning 2 Man of the Match awards in the tournament. Quarter-final, Man of the Match, Mohamed Salah, an assist, a goal, and his performance all round. Semi-final, an assist, a goal for Salah, performance all around. Quite remarkable. Egypt and Senegal, their history points to a Senegalese opportunity. Senegal beats Egypt. Yeah, they've had the run over them for some time. Last 4 encounters, Senegal outright winners, probably not even conceding a goal. And it's always been in the Africa Cup of Nations, especially the qualifiers. So the history is on the side of Senegal. Even though Egypt beat Senegal, but I think Egypt has lost more times to Senegal, especially in recent years, over the last 10 years. That would give the psychology to Senegal going into this game. But I've told you, Senegal, number 1 ranked team in Africa. Senegal, for some time, we all look to them and say, wow, great individual quality. You saw them in the semi-finals, really, that was their best performance of the tournament. They've been getting better from the group where they were poor. Then the knockout, they start engaging the second year, the next year, round of 16, quarterfinals, semi-finals. Wow, I mean, honestly, they are getting better and better. And now every one of their players looks the quality player we know. The squad depth that they have, impressive. Sadio Mane, perhaps his best football this season is now coming through in the last stages of AFCON. So they are really best placed. They've been beating teams, and quite convincingly. There's one problem though. They have been losing to Egypt. Yes, they have. No, they've been winning Egypt. But have they met Egypt in a final of Africa Cup of Nations? Absolutely not. That is the issue. Morocco lost to Egypt, not because they were really inferior. And they had a very good record against Egypt, as Egyptians, as Arabs, as rivals. The reason they lost is because the stage we are at, they don't belong. That's Egypt territory. Senegal in the final of AFCON against Egypt. Every result before counts for nothing. The final of an Africa Cup of Nations competition, whether it is club football, national football, if it is called a final or the latter stages, that's Egypt's world. You can bank it. Senegal, what will they do? Egypt has the same way that they cancel out these West Africans. Patient football, keep the ball, hide it. The issues you are seeing off field, 2 coaches being sent off, that whole fiasco, players falling, the goalkeeper being treated 3, 4, 5 times, even though, yes, he was getting injured. Those disruptions you see whenever Egypt is playing, it is part of the big picture. It is part of their winning methods. They work on your psychology and your mental state as an opponent. They get into your head. Even the officials get in the act. In the end, it is the opponent who gets frustrated and irritated by these things. You can call them antics, you can call them unfair play, whatever you choose. But remember, they're the ones getting the cards, they're the ones whose players are getting booked, they're the ones whose coaches are being sent off. You think it is playing against them? I'm telling you no. But go back in history, this is what Egypt does. It is part of the winning mentality and winning system. That's what they do. Senegal. Egypt will do 2 things. They'll keep the ball. They will outmaneuver Senegal tactically. Like you saw against Cameroon, Senegal will struggle to get behind their defense. They will come at them. Egypt will be patient. In the end, all that Egypt needs is that 1, 2, 3, 4 chances, 1, 2, 3 moments for Salah or someone else. If you make a mistake of going to 120 minutes, Egypt will always come out on top. For me, Senegal are yet to win this tournament in their history. Never won it before. They've got another chance. 2 successive tournaments. It doesn't happen often in African football. Egypt are 7-time winners. As a nation, they are looking for 8 record wins. But Mohamed Salah, the player in Africa for the last 3-4 years, the player who has hit the headlines all the time, justifiably so, has not won this title. He's playing his 3rd tournament as well. Who between Salah and Mane wants it more? They both want it, and they want it very, very badly. Both 31, 38 years of age. Not having so many years to go. Maybe they still have 1 or 2 tournaments in them, but winning it is the issue. You lose this once, maybe no other chance. Salah needing this to be rated alongside the world's greatest because of that national success. Mane needing this as well to also go down in record as perhaps right now the greatest Senegalese player. The 2 play to each other, with each other. Great form at Liverpool, scoring goals. They're the talisman at Liverpool. Either way, they're representing their club, but that won't matter on Sunday. What matters is who goes home with that trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, I am convinced. I have been convinced, and I'll say it again. Egypt, at the end of the day, will reign as champions on Sunday. And that's my last word.